Hello students, this is lecture number 4 and as you are aware we are in week number 5 and dealing with guidance and counseling paper, and the topic of the discussion is group counseling concept, goals and processes. So let us start with our discussions. What we are going to learn here: concept of the group counseling. First of all, we will try to understand the concept of the group counseling, and then we will discuss the goals of the group counseling and learn about the stages of the group counseling and explore key aspects of the process of counseling. And then we will also try to understand strategies and the techniques of the counseling, and finally we will sum up our lecture. So let us start our discussion with the concept of group counseling. What is group counseling? We are going to understand this concept first and then we'll explore other areas related to it. So group counseling refers to the routine adjustment or developmental experiences provided in a group setting. Group counseling focuses on assisting counselees to cope with their day-to-day adjustment and development concerns. Examples might focus on behavior modification, developing personal relationship skills, concerns of human sexuality, values or attitudes, or career decision making. There are situations where students have common problems which are of complicated nature and they can be handled in group counseling technique by the counselor. Group counseling is a form of therapy where 2 to 15 individuals meet face to face with one or two trained counselors to discuss and work through personal issues, learn new coping skills and develop interpersonal growth. So it is a group of a small number. This is the major difference between the group guidance and the group counseling. In group counseling, we are basically making the behavior modifications in a group situation where the group is relatively small as compared the group in the guidance process. Here we are talking in a face-to-face manner, having a rapport with the student and trying to discuss and work through their personal issues and developing new coping strategies which can be helpful for the students in better adjustment and changing their behavior pattern. It is a collaborative process where members share experiences, provide support, and learn from each other's perspectives within a structured setting. So we create a structured setting where sharing of experiences is allowed and each member is supporting to other and they are learning from the perspectives of the other. So group counseling is basically explores many issues and the challenges in the minds of the student. It helps individual cope with the stressors, emotional issues and developmental concerns like mental illness and addiction or grief. There can be so many problems associated to the individual which are of very serious nature and they are being discussed in a group counseling sessions. Now there are certain goals of the group counseling and we will discuss in coming few slides. Group counseling aims to help individuals improve their well-being and interpersonal skills in a supportive environment. So groups are created, counseling groups are created in order to enhance or develop a supportive environment where each student is supporting the other and getting the benefit of their perspectives. Key goals include fostering self-awareness. Students are able to develop their self-awareness, enhancing emotional regulations, how to regulate their emotions in a better manner, improving relationship, how to enhance relationship with other members of the society and other group members, developing coping mechanism, how they can solve the problems in a systematic manner by adopting certain strategies and promoting personal growth. In the process of doing all these activities, what we are enhancing in a group counseling situation, we are basically enhancing their personal growth. They are developing in their insight, they are developing about the issues related to the problem, they are also developing the problem solving skill, and they are also having an understanding of the various coping strategies which can be useful and instrumental in resolving their conflicts in their life. So this is the goals of the group counseling. What we are doing, what we want to maintain or achieve with the goals with the group counseling, that is developing self-awareness, understanding one's own thoughts, feelings and behaviors is basically the goal of the group counseling. That is more important, because if students are able to aware themselves, then many of the small type of the problems will automatically be resolved. Improving emotional regulations means learning to manage and cope with emotions effectively. You are getting irritated very quickly, you are demonstrating anger and grief very quickly, you don't have control on your emotions. So in this group counseling situations, when we interact with other peoples and we observe others are having the emotional control and they are behaving in a different manner, then we compare our behavior with the group members and we learn and how to regulate our emotions, and counselor also assists in regulating their emotions. Enhancing relationship is also key, and the goal of the group counseling, we are basically preparing the student to interact, explore, discuss and get insight to solve their own problem. So improving communication, building stronger connections and resolving personal conflicts. Opinion of differences are always there. When students express their opinion of differences, there can be a conflicts related to any particular opinion. Then we develop the communication skills, and this communication skill is basically for enhancing a relationship, to find out the commonalities between the issues which we are being discussed in that counseling process. Problem solving and decision making is basically the ultimate objective, developing skills to address challenges and make informed choices. Skill development is needed because these are basically the skills. Problem solving is an skill, decision making is an skill, and we need to understand the problem from all its associated aspects. We need to understand our own abilities and the capabilities, and we need to understand the perspectives of the other student, and the problem solving and decision making abilities discussed by various students become instrumental to imitate and imbibe in the personality. Another goal of the group counseling is that learning new coping mechanisms, acquiring strategies to manage stress, anxiety and other challenges. Here, the counselor assists the individuals who are performing group counseling in a group situation, and addressing them various strategies which can be useful in managing their stress, anxiety and other challenges faced in their life. A lot of strategies have been suggested by the experts of the field or the research of the field or the psychologists, and if they are discussed in the group situation, then every individual can take the benefit from them and may prefer uh, any one of them or any few of them as per his or her need. So it is learning new coping mechanism. It helps in on the part of the student learning new coping mechanism. Practicing social skills, providing a safe environment to experiment with new behaviors and communication style. When we interact in a group situation, we learn the social skills and get the idea from the behaviors of the others. There are certain other goals of the counseling: gaining perspective and the feedback. There are many members in the group, and receiving support and insight from others in the group, which can be helpful in understanding oneself and making changes. Different perspectives will come in front of the students. Different feedbacks will be gained by the students who are engaged in the group counseling situations, because every individual is unique in expressing his or her own ideas, in dealing his or her own issues, and those ideas and those issues and those perspectives can be beneficial for the other students to follow and change their behavior in a positive direction. Instilling hope. Instilling hope is another goal of the group counseling. It is very important goal also. Witnessing the progress of others can motivate individuals to work towards their own goals. In group counseling situations, in sessions, if when the student experience others are progressing, they also get inspiration from that, and they also develop a hope. They become a positive in their approach, and they also consider that if others are progressing in a positive manner and their approach is becoming positive, then why not I can change myself as the others are changing. So it also helpful in hope or creating hope. Sense of belonging and support. By participating in group counseling, students realize they are not the alone in their experiences and can find support and encouragement from their parents. So this belongingness and this support which they get in group situation is remarkable. It is remarkable. When the the student consider, I am alone suffering from the problem, then it gives a feeling of the loneliness and inferiority complex. When he is given opportunity to interact with the people in a group counseling situation where others are also facing the same kinds of the problem, then he or she consider okay, problems are common in nature and they can be tackled and handled if we discuss and collaborate with each other and experiences our our thoughts related to that. So positive emotional regulation is another goal. Group counseling can help students learn to identify, understand, and manage their emotions in healthy way. Academic development is definitely a very simple and important goal. Ultimately, we are using the counseling program in any educational institution. The ultimate objective is basically the academic development. So, group counseling can address academic challenges by improving study habits, motivation, and test taking skills. How to appear in the examination, how to get good marks, because sometimes examination, fear of examination and stress of examination leads to many kinds of the mental health issues among the students. Prevention of negative behaviors. By addressing issues like bullying, substance abuse, or academic dishonesty, group counseling can help prevent negative behaviors from escalating. These are the negative behaviors which become very complicated in later stages if they are not tackled at its appropriate time. So, students are exposed to the group counseling situations and their behaviors are changes, and it also help in prevention of the negative behavior and safeguarding the interests of the society also. Now we will try to understand what are the stages of the group counseling. We will discuss 5 or 6 stages of the counseling, how this group counseling is basically established or implemented. And the number one aspect is forming, that is orientation or initiation of the group counseling program. All words can be described in to this initial process. So this initial stage focuses on establishing rapport introducing group members, defining goals, and setting ground rules. Members may be hesitant to share personal information and may test boundaries. So, this is a starting point where group members are allowed to interact with each other by making their introduction, and some goals are decided by the counselor to all the members, and some rules are set for the discussions of the issues, and members in the beginning demonstrate hesitant to discuss their problem, but and they also given confidence by the counselor to discuss them. So this is an initial stage where a starting point is there, but still no progress is seen in the process of the counseling, but students are moving in a right direction, knowing with each other and understanding with each other and understanding the rules of the discussions and deliberations in a group counseling situations. Second one is storming, that is the transition, that is the conflict and confrontation. When members begin to express themselves more openly, and conflicts may arise as they navigate differences in opinions and communication style. This stage can be challenging but is crucial for building trust and cohesion. In the beginning, they are hesitant, but as soon as they develop good rapport with each other, they express their ideas. Ideas expressed by the different people may not be similar, and conflicts will definitely be seen in that group situation. So this is basically called the storming stage, conflicting stage, and the stage of the confrontation based on opinion and presentation style. And everybody is presenting the issue and the problem with his or her own style. It is very difficult to challenge, very difficult to maintain the group solidarity in such a situation. And the counselors, being professionally trained, and they have initially told to the student about the group rules, so he makes the clear to the clients to remain uh, in the boundaries of that rules. Third stage is basically the norming or cohesion. After deliberation, storm, and conflict, now the students are reaching, or the clients, or whatever name you can suggest, counseling, are in the process of making cohesion from differences. They are leaving aside their differences and reaching to any conclusion, that is the cohesion, means common points taken together and they are discussed more rather than the differences. The group members start to develop a sense of belonging, establish norms for interaction, and work through conflicts constructively. Open communication and mutual support become more prominent. Then later, in later stages, after having a conflict and discussion, heated discussion on many issues, they come to a stage where they are united and they reach to any consensus, that is called the cohesion, that is called the norming. And the fourth stage is basically performing. When they have learned certain insight, gain certain insights from that, now it is time to perform or work or to produce. This stage is characterized by high levels of trust, open communication, and active participation as members dwell, delve into deeper issues and work together their goals. Here, they are in the process of making decisions about solving their problems, resolving their issues after a heated discussion and reaching to the cohesion. It is in a stage of the working and to produce certain ideas, to produce certain skills, and to produce certain input or the strategies to handle the problem in a better manner. This is in a stage of the performing. Then adjourning, termination, or mourning are the stage at number 6. The final stage involves reflection on the group's journey, celebrating accomplishments, processing emotions related to separation, and planning for continued growth and development. A stage comes where the students involves in reflection on group's journey. Okay, what we have achieved. We are celebrating the accomplishment, although you are don't have the consensus on any task, but some common points have been discussed and they have been implemented, and positive changes have been seen in the behavior of the students. So this is basically the processing emotions related to separation and planning for continued growth beyond the group. And this implementation, this is basically the use of problem solving skill in another situation when you are not the member of the group, means you are terminating yourself from the group counseling situation. The last part which is suggested, that is the research and evaluation. Now we will discuss this also, because some modules also include an evaluation phase to assess the effectiveness of the group counseling process and make improvement. Research and evaluation are always needed because things are changing and evolving, and we need to be acquainted with the recent changes based on the research. So, research in guidance and counseling is also very important. What are the strategies? What is the utility of the strategies in solving the group counseling as well as individual counseling, so that we can implement the findings or conclusions of these researches? Or in other words, we can say, okay, whatever goal we have set in the beginning of group counseling, to what extent we are able to achieve those steps. We have to evaluate it, we have to consider it, and we have to make necessary improvements at every stage, in every area, at every juncture. Now, the key aspects of the process. There are certain key aspects which are related to the process. Number one is confidentiality. If you want to provide quality group guidance services, then we have to think about certain aspects which are very important. Number one is confidentiality. Maintaining confidentiality is crucial for fostering trust and open communication with the group. If group members are not demonstrating confidentiality, then it will not be able to express on the part of the students or the group members to express their feelings. The feelings can be expressed in a better manner and in an exploratory manner when the confidentiality of the group members is maintained. We need to tell to the group members that whatever we are discussing, we need not to discuss these issues outside the group situations, and we will forget everything whatever we have discussed here, or we will not discuss with any members of the. And counselor should also maintain it also, okay, he or she is demonstrating the ethical principles and not sharing the problems and issues of the students with anybody, even with the teachers also. Feedback, regular feedback from group members and the facilitator helps assess progress and address potential issues. Feedback is also very important. Continuous feedback taken by the counselor will give the idea how to get better results from the group counseling situations. Some other aspects are also there. Intervention. The facilitator guides the group through various counseling interventions such as role playing, psychoeducation. What is psychoeducation? Psychoeducation is the process of educating individuals with mental health conditions such as serious mental health illness or mental illness, serious mental illness, and problem solving techniques. These are the interventions. So facilitator basically guides. Okay, these are basically the interventions, and we need to take or implement these interventions in order to resolve the issues and the problems of the clients or the counseling. Goal setting is also very important. Collaborative goal setting helps ensure that group is focused and working towards meaningful outcome. As every aspect in individual's life is associated to certain goals. I am presenting this material, I have certain goals in my mind. You are listening to my lecture and engaging in the evaluation process because you have certain goals in mind. So group counseling goals must be very clear, and they must be set by the counselor in consultation with the members of the group, and those must be the guiding principle who are guiding to the counselor and guiding to the counselee in the process of the group counseling. Individual and group dynamics is also very important. Until and unless we are aware about the individual characteristics and the group dynamics or the relationship, what type of relationship members enjoy with each other. Group dynamics is the study of how people interact, how they communicate with each other, and influence each other within a group to achieve common goals. Are they repulsive? Are they cooperative? Are they collaborative? Are they engaged in a sympathetic manner, collaborative manner? This basically gives the idea about the group feelings. If there is a coordination, cooperation, love and affection, and collaboration demonstrated by the members of the group, it means group dynamics is perfectly well, and the objectives or the goals which the counselor has decided in consultation with the counselee are likely to be achieved in a better manner. This group dynamic involves understanding the psychological and behavioral processes that occur within groups, such as rules, norms, and communication pattern. Healthy communication is existing, and certain norms are followed, and certain rules are expected from every individual. That is a type of the group dynamics that is very important for successful implementation of the group counseling process. Understanding both individual member dynamics and overall group dynamics is essential for effective facilitation. Understanding of the individual is also very important, because these students are an individual. When they are participating in the group, they become the part of the group and belongs to that group. So whatever characteristic features they are possessing, they will also demonstrate same kind of the characteristic features in the group situation. So we need to understand the student from their individual point of view and their role in the groups if we are really interested to perform the group guidance. There are certain strategies, we can discuss these in 2 or 3 minutes. Establish ground rules. Clear expectations and the boundaries for respectful communication and interactions are crucial. Boundaries must be set, and that is important, where that is important for enhancing interaction and communication, because until unless we establish ground rules, then cohesion in the group will not be maintained and the task of the counseling will be disturbed. Active listening is also very important, and everybody should consider in the group his wishes, his perspective, and his opinions are giving significance, and the person and others are also listening it carefully. If someone is speaking, expressing his or her own ideas, then others are constantly listening, and this listening should not be for the sake of the listening, rather it is active listening. So there is a need to encourage group members to actively listen to and understand each other's perspectives, which is very vital in successful implementation of the group counseling. Some other strategies are promote respect and empathy. So, modeling respectful behavior, fostering empathy, and addressing any harmful comments or actions are important. So, there is a need to promote respect and empathy among the group members. They must respect the wishes of the others. Their language of communication must be soft and must be calculated, and they should not provide harm to the others, and their actions must be socially acceptable in order to engage in the discussion. Build a sense of community. Creating a sense of belonging and connection among group members can enhance their willingness to participate and share. So sense of community need to be built among our student or the counselees, so that they are actively participating and expressing their views and wishes. Identify common ground. Helping members find commonalities can build cohesion and encourage deeper connections. There can be differences of opinions, but there are opinions which are common in nature, and we need to understand and we need to identify the common grounds, because they can be easily understood in counseling process. Encourage feedback. Facilitating constructive feedback among members can help them learn from each other and gain new perspective. So, encourage feedback is also an important strategy which must be adopted for the success of the counseling. Manage conflict. Teaching members how to manage disagreements and conflict constructively, that is also very important. Conflicts will be there, and conflicts of opinion will be there, because opinion expressed by the members will be different. We need to manage these conflicting opinions and reach to any consensus we are thinking on certain common points. Address disruptive behaviors. Promptly addressing any behavior that negatively impact the group's psychological safety is important. This group counseling is taking place in a psychologically secure and safe environment, and that environment must be prevailed from the beginning to the end, and any behavior expressed by any member of the group must not be tolerated by the counselor, and immediate intervention on the part of the counselor is needed. Now we are going to conclude our lecture. Group counseling is a supportive environment where a trained professional guides a small group of individuals to discuss shared issues, gain insight through that discussion, and develop coping skills through mutual support and feedback. That is the idea behind the group counseling technique. The sessions are facilitated by the counselor, who guides conversation while members share experiences, offer support to each other, and receive back feedback from peers who may have similar changes. So, in this process, there are chances that students will be able to handle and resolve their issues and develop the ability to problem solving in their temperament. So, with this, we have completed our lecture. Thanks for your patience listening. God bless you all.